Hello Airsofters, USJTF 6 here. Thank you for visiting our channel today. Along the course of our YouTube channel, we get a lot of emails and questions from the viewers of our channel. I answer some of these questions. Of course, we got about 4 or 5 other guys on here that answer a lot of the questions as well, because we share a shared account with the YouTube site. But we got a good question yesterday, and it was in regards to Airsoft team development. And as a lot of you guys know, we made a video a little while back that got around 20,000 views so far on how to create your own Airsoft team. And we got a very interesting question which clearly stated, I've started 2 teams on my own and both have failed. What am I doing wrong? And it's a very broad and interesting question, but I thought this would be a good part 2 series to that, making an Airsoft team, because in order to be an effective team commander, to make those teams or be an effective group, you really got to understand the dynamics of what we call failure. And how do we fail in Airsoft teams? It's very simple. There's a couple different things that will make us fail, and we'll talk about that here today. A lot of teams and organizations have a dynamic style of leadership, and as you can see throughout the course of the sport, most of these dynamic styles of leadership have dictated either success or failure on a team's part. Nobody wants to be on a team where they're told to do things, they're told how to act, how to conduct themselves, not given freedom and flexibility or input to the team function. And that's a lot to say there, right? But in layman's terms, what I mean is, if you're one of those leaders with the iron fist and you're trying to start a team and you're telling guys it's going to be a my way or the highway kind of thing, and you're not letting them get any input, that's probably one of the reasons why your teams are failing, or your team is currently failing. A good, effective leader on a team takes the resources of that team, the combined potential of its members, and puts it in a cohesive organization where he delegates authority. What I mean by delegating authority is he gives people jobs to do and gives them little responsibilities along the way to kind of divvy up the workload of the team. If you're one of those guys that do all the work for the team, I can understand where you're coming from, because your members might not be doing that for you. But it's kind of time to change your ways with that, because that's one of the things that makes Airsoft teams fail. You should have a recruiting guy down there on your team that's just in charge of recruiting people. You should have a guy that's just in charge of going on the internet and putting a good face to your team name. You should have a guy that's looking for games and events and plugging things in there and letting you know about that stuff. And then you should have a guy that just does basic operation stuff. So you get a new guy on a team, right? Team rosters, contact information, things of that nature. And all those guys should meet probably once a month, bump heads, get together and make things happen a little bit. And I'll tell you, if you run a system like that, you're not going to have a failure in leadership, because you're going to give your members an open voice and the freedom to do what they see is best for the team. You see what I'm saying? That's the way to go. If you're one of those guys, like I said before, with that iron fist, you got to drop it like a bad habit, because you're never going to have a successful team, because nobody's going to follow you, because it's a volunteer sport. People aren't here to be told what to do, this, that. People are here because they like doing what they do. They have fun. They're given opportunities to socially expand themselves a little bit, to get out there, to work with a group of people that they like to work with. So that's one of the things that you really got to remember there. The other thing that kills teams is activity. Activity is one thing that'll destroy a team in a heartbeat, because you can start a team up all you want, alright? And I see this all the time. A lot of guys, they usually start the team up very fast and they get 5 good members, and they're doing a good thing, and all of a sudden the team leadership either falls off the map, or they just don't do enough as a team, and members start getting to the point where, okay, why am I here? There's greener pastures over here. I can just go ahead and fall in with a different team, and then they start losing members, and then in turn they start losing their entire organization. One thing you got to understand when you're starting an airsoft team, you got to have the dedication to follow through with certain things and give time back to it. Like I've always stated, you're never going to get anything sitting on your behind, not working for it. You got to get out there and you got to work hard for it. And you got to make things happen on your own. You got to go out there and hand out those flyers. You got to get on those social networks. You got to go to those games. You got to network with those other teams. You got to network with those other players. And you have to stay active. Because if you're in a leadership position trying to start a team, and you might go to one game every 4 months, but you might have members in the background that wants to do things all the time. So in turn, they're going to leave the team. And you lose people that way, and you lose a lot of people that way as well. So that's one other thing with the activity portion. The other thing is with team training and standards. I say this all the time because I'm more of a milsim guy, but it's standardized across the board. Get the input of the team on what they would like to do. You know, just don't be that guy that says, okay, this is what we're doing this weekend and this is how it's going to be. Because again, you're going to lose people if you do that. You need to be that person who is personal with their people and makes things happen that way. Meaning, you bring people together. You bring people into an organization where they feel proud and happy to be there. Right? And you give them input and you give them freedom of maneuver in that organization. And if somebody's got a good idea, run with it. I mean, the worst that can happen is their good idea turns into something that was proven wrong and it's not a good idea. Well, if the guy has something that is a good idea and it's proven to be a good idea, well, hey, you found something for your team. Just don't automatically shut those guys down and shut them off, you know. So we talked about leadership a little bit. We talked about activity. We'll move into the next subject. You know, team uniforms and stuff like that. You got to tailor your equipment list and your loadout to the budget of most of the people on your team. And this is another reason for team failures, because guys feel pressured about stuff, right? Oh, I need you to buy a uniform, Sears vest, and about $800 more worth of stuff. A normal person's going to look at you and go, sorry man, I got to leave the team. I can't do that anymore. And that's another reason for inherent team failures. So just remember that. Tailor your team's uniform to your team budget and try to get a consensus down the line. So we talked about those three things. The last thing I really want to talk about is it doesn't matter if you're an organization or you're a team. Unless you have the support of your members, they feel happy where they are, they're proud of what they do, you attend games frequently and often with them, and you got a lot of honor and esprit de corps and pride with your organization. Gentlemen and ladies, it's always going to turn out the same way. It's always going to turn out to be an inherent failure that teams will never recover from. And another thing I kind of failed to mention, money. Money is something that will break you quicker than anything in this sport. And that's why any game that I personally host, I only take donations for charity, and basically I'm not making a dime off it because I don't even want to be put in that ridiculous situation with money. You're going to have a team fund, right? Have somebody that's a good treasurer, because what's going to happen is, of course, the money is going to get mixed up somehow because somebody spent a few dollars here, a few dollars there, and it's going to cause another team fight. So just remember those facts. Those things alone right there, I'll tell you what, that's 99% of why teams fail in Airsoft. And it's a pretty precarious situation when you see a team fall flat on its behind, but it was caused by either the membership of that team or the team leadership. Most of the time the team leadership, because they failed to identify those three factors that I talked about before. Leadership issues, with activity, and with team standards, right? So I just wanted to put that out there to answer your question today. Hopefully I answered your question quite well. We're going to have plenty more videos coming up through the JTF. I also want to thank you guys for putting up those 3 videos on the site. Excellent job. You can check out our guys from France, Ohio, or who is it? I don't want to give you the wrong answer. That's why I'm looking here. In Texas. There you go, Texas. So you can check out those videos at your leisure, free at any time. We posted up some more videos as well, but I hope this is a good supplemental video to the Starting the Airsoft Team video. And I hope some people learned a few things by it. And if you have any more questions about Airsoft teams or starting teams or team leadership, feel free to send them to our inbox and we'll be more than happy to answer. So until next time, thanks for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your Airsoft endeavors. Take care.